Last of Us Season 2 is upon us, and I watched the first episode and I can honestly say it's pretty good. Go watch it, nice suspense, laying the groundwork for future conflict, it's pretty good. But this video is about one specific problem living in Fantasyland. I'm gonna tell you a personal story about my mother's journey and the family's journey living and growing up in Russia. So stay tuned for that, and if you like this kind of content, guys, please subscribe to my channel. I want to talk about movies and entertainment. Let's go. Dina and Ellie go on a patrol and they disobey direct orders because it's a normal patrol where if any danger were to occur, just go back and report on it. No need to go in. They go in because they want to have some exciting thing. They get into danger, they make it out of it, all good, but then afterwards they have to face some questioning by the council. And they just say, why are you disobeying orders, like going into danger? And then Ellie says, as if you and Joel wouldn't have done the same and go in there. And then Tommy is like, well, but that's different. And then everybody's like, huh? How's that different? How's that different? Like, okay, we're living in Fantasyland right now. 2 teenage girls versus 2 battle-hardened grown-ass men with military experience. It's not the same. We don't have to pretend otherwise. It just takes me out of it. Let me tell you a story. Personal anecdote. My mother's born in Russia. They originally come from the Carpathians, so somewhere in Ukraine. And after World War II, the Russians abducted the whole village and just abandoned them somewhere in Siberia, in the middle of nowhere. Like literally, they stand there with nothing, left there to die, and they had to dig ditches to survive, to sleep in. And half of them, literally half of them, died in the first winter. They just froze to death. That was real survival. And my mother was born. After that, they started to build a village and get some kind of a normal, rural, still very remote life. Like there's one ship that comes by with some goods once a month. It's in the middle of nowhere still. But they had houses now and farms like pigs and stuff. She was born there. But my grandmother was one of those guys who had to actually survive with nothing. And my mother still tells me stories of them surviving there and of people that she knows. And then she tells a story of a woman who had to survive and lost her man, and she was alone in the woods without a man. And she tells the story of her making it as if it were a superhuman feat, because it fucking was. Okay? Because it was. People who live that life, they know. Men and women have different jobs to do when push comes to shove, and we don't have to pretend otherwise. It's a female-centric story, Last of Us Part 2 and Season 2. And that's okay, I want to see that, I'm interested in it. Just don't throw me off by pretending we're living in Fantasyland. We don't need that. We can deal with reality and still make a gripping story. And it would actually be more gripping if it were real. For example, Ellie had a sparring session in the beginning of the episode, and she got punched in the nose and bled, and then she tries to choke the guy out. And this guy is 6'5", 225 pounds. In the prime of his life, he gets wrestled by this little girl. They try to explain by saying that he pulled his punches, but he totally did not pull his wrestling game. He was choked by a fake, really poor executed triangle choke. And I mean, that's just stunt work. It's just embarrassing to see that that's fake jiu-jitsu style. Nobody's gonna choke you with that. She will never be able to throw this guy off like that. It's just silly. The story is interesting as it is. I mean, it was very controversial in the game, but I'm still eager to see it. I loved the game, even though there was some shit that I hated, but it's still fine, and it was a gripping story, so I'm excited for the rest. I'm gonna give you some updates, but it was the same political shit that I talked about in my previous episode. You can go watch that here about shoving political messages down your throat. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel. I hope I see you in the next one.